With yesterday's volatility, AVAX finds itself in an interesting position where we could see yet another drop for the AVAX token. In today's video, we are jumping into the technical analysis on Avalanche's AVAX, sharing my thoughts and opinions on where I think things are heading. Let's roll the intro and get right down into it. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video update, and today we are taking a look at the technical analysis on AVAX. Now, Avalanche's AVAX token has seen some volatility recently, specifically with Bitcoin pushing up to the 69,000 USDT double top, and then of course the drop to the downside. We saw, I think it was like a 14% drop with Bitcoin, and we did see Avalanche's AVAX here come down, and you can see we're testing out this lower trend line. Okay, so let's zoom in here just a little bit. We can see that we were finding upper resistance up here. Okay, now this is actually an interesting spot because we do have our trend line. This trend line is adjustable because we only have two touch points on it, right? So it was over here, then it became here, then it became here, and before that it was over this side. Okay, so I'm going to leave it over here with these two touch points on the wicks, as well as our low trend line touching on those multiple touch points, and I'll extend that up just a little bit. Okay, so what's going on here is that there's this upper area of resistance which can be shown and depicted with a rectangular box. I'm going to go ahead and show you this right in here, and then I'm going to scale it across in both directions. So you can see here that every time the price has come up into this range right here, here, or all of this here, we got rejection, right? Every single time we fell to the downside, right? Every single one of these basically led us into a correction. Now, there's obviously lots of reasons and rationale behind why. Different times of the market and all that kind of stuff. But one of the essential fundamentals here is that when the price went up into this range between $43.34 to $45.18, there was an immense amount of selling pressure taking the price to the downside. Okay, everything becomes supply and demand, and in this range between 43.34 and 45.18 is where the supply is coming into the market, i.e. that's where sellers are. Okay, so we got rejected 3 times from this range, but every time we kind of got in here, we barely touched into it. We touched into it a little bit more, and we actually spent a fair amount of time up here. This is an indication that actually this range has kind of almost reached its exhaustion, indicating to us that this the amount of selling pressure here is easing. There's not going to be terribly too much more, and another retest of this area is probably going to get a breakout situation, okay, which is where I think today's video is going to land us. Because taking a look at things right now, we are up against resistance right here on the 50 EMA, 50 SMA after moving down and closing below the 200 4-hour EMA. By the way, guys, for reference, this is AVAX paired with USDT on the 4-hour Binance chart. And so our 4-hour resistance right here is the 50 EMA, 50 SMA, coming in at 41.26 and 41.60 respectively. So we have to kind of bear in mind that where we currently sit with this is that we want to see a breakout of those EMAs. We also want to come back up to our range here, and we want to get a break above our trend line. And we ideally want to close a candle above $45.18 to give us a kind of bullish momentum to it. Now, if we actually take a look at the stochastic RSIs, we can see that there is momentum supporting a move to the upside on the 4-hour time frame, but not before we probably see a correction on the 1 hour. Okay, the 1 hour is overbought, and the 4-hour is still progressing upwards. So I expect a small move to the downside on the 1 hour time frame before we continue a surge upwards on the 4-hour, 8-hour time frames. Okay, so just be mindful of that. Now, if I bring this back down into the 1 hour time frame and show you the price action on the 1 hour time frame, you can see here that we're up against the resistance on the 200 hourly EMA, 50 EMA, and 50 SMA. Highly likely that we're going to get rejection from here and pull back a little ways. So what I would be looking for personally would be to short the market probably on where we are at the point of recording this video. Stop loss I would put above that upper trend line, and take profit down on this lower trend line. Gives us a risk reward ratio of about 1.61, which would be my kind of okay kind of territory for a short trade like this. Simply because it's above 1.5, I would be okay with it. I do like to have my risk reward ratios higher than 1.5. Anything lower would just be a no-go in my opinion. And of course, guys, if I am to be leverage based trading, I'm going to be trading on BitGet. BitGet is my go-to platform when it comes to leverage-based trades. There is an affiliate link to BitGet in the description down below. If you haven't already signed up to BitGet, I urge you guys to check it out. I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. And if you are new to the world of BitGet, you could be eligible for up to $30,000 of deposit rewards and bonuses, depending on how much you deposit and trade on the platform. Now, there are terms and conditions associated with that, and not all countries and jurisdictions are eligible for affiliate-based bonuses, the UK being one of them, for example. But all the terms and conditions can be found on their website. So why not you check out the link in the description down below and check out BitGet. I don't think you guys will be disappointed. Now, from our chart here, it's kind of one trade idea on the 1 hour to see some kind of move to the downside. I personally don't think this one is worth doing. I think I would personally myself be looking at the 4-hour time frame and waiting for a breakout situation. I would be looking for a closed candle above our trend line here, tight stop loss underneath it, and take profit significantly higher. Okay, because I do think we are targeting out approximately $58 on a macro scale. So this could be a great breakout situation, which we trade with a great risk reward ratio of about 5.25. So that would be more my take on it. I'm not going to dabble down too much with the 1 hour time frame because I do not see us moving down far enough to actually make the risk reward ratio playing out personally. So if it were me, that's how I would approach it. Not going short, but only going long here with a breakout situation, closed candle above that trend line and above specifically $45.18. I want a closed candle there before I would enter. Okay, that would be my approach to this one. I do think there's some potential moves for AVAX to continue its run to the upside, and as I mentioned, $54. If we go and scale this up to our daily time frame, okay, you can kind of see right here I have $58.31 kind of marked out on our next kind of move to the upside. But I only want to enter if we get confirmation that that is actually going to be happening. Now, if we were to come and break down and close below the 50 daily EMA and 50 SMA, that would be more bearish. So I would be really cautious there. So any kind of closures at a daily level below the kind of $37 level, so 37.08, anything lower than that yellow line closing would be bearish. This was a previous area of support and it is still currently holding like so. So I would be really cautious if we were to close a candle down here that we're probably heading to that 200 EMA, and so that could potentially be the short opportunity for a close below that 50 SMA, tight stop loss, take profit down on the 200. Again, you can see two different options here depending on what the price action does. But what we're waiting for is we're not just gambling in the market in the middle for AVAX. We're waiting to get confirmation. We're looking for those breaks and we're looking for the closures. We close above the trend line, we're going to go long. We close below the 50 SMA, we're going to go short. And our targets are $58 on the long position up to the upside. And if we are to go back down to the 200 EMA, it's $28, and that's our target. Both of these have great risk reward ratios with nice tight stop losses. So those are the trades that I personally would be looking at for AVAX here. And I think they would take some time to play out because we are talking about daily time frame moves here. Nothing is going to be instantaneous or anything like that. So guys, that's going to wrap up today's video for Avalanche's AVAX. Some interesting volatility and some opportunities here for either a breakout or a breakdown. The main thing to do here is to wait for confirmation and then act accordingly. Guys, why don't you check out this video here where JB is going through what was going on with Bitcoin yesterday and that volatility hitting 69K and dropping by 14%.